I think they call it Showtime Flag Football League. It's fantastic.
Where was the venue?
It was in Lekki. Fantastic football league. Men and women played together. So, and it was amazing. The women are athletic, the men are strong. And flag football is not really about sacking the individual. It's not like American football. American football is like sacking the individual. Flag football is you have to snatch the flag of the person that has the ball. So it's not as physical. Yeah. But my goodness, everything about that thing was organized. People were there. The games were competitive. The teams have decided officially. Me, I like to join winning team because I don't like to cry and I don't like people to banter me. Yeah. My team officially is the Lagos Athletic Team, the LA team. And they sound like my favorite town in the world, LA. Okay. So that was that. But the league is amazing. So if you have time, you can even join. Omas, this is your pot belly. You will touch back 6-pack in 2 weeks.
Lagos. Tega just called me out now. See, I need you guys to go on our YouTube page, youtube.com/smooth91.
You want to show them that you don't have 6-pack?
Please, Lagos, I want to stand so you can see that this, anyway.
You have 1 pouch, you don't have 6-pack. So this will help you get 6-pack. I don't know why you're wasting your time. But it was amazing to see a league so well organized and match games that were competitive. So, Omas, go next weekend and try out.
Since you recommended, I would go.
So, which is not why I'm now hopeful that come 2027, we'll have a flag football team at the Olympics, and I'll just be there cheering. But fantastic job, Showtime Football Flag, or Flag Football League.
Okay, that's it.
So now that I've said that, you go on YouTube and check out Omatseye's 1-pack. He thinks that because it is not bold that we don't know it's there, and he now want native so that he will cover it. He will hold the cloth so that we'll see. So join us on YouTube.
I can so believe this is this Tega.
But Omatseye will tell us how else we can be a part of the locker room, and if you want to join that flag football league, you can send us a message.
All right. Be free to go over to our YouTube page at Smooth91 FM Lagos. Search for us there, Smooth91 FM Lagos. You'll find us on YouTube. But then also, let's get the banters coming straight away to 0809 444 0981 will be where we'd like to read all the messages. No mercy today.
All right. And Josh has already sent you a letter because you did not acknowledge my royalty. But let's look at the headlines of the stories and then we can get into the analysis proper because there was anger this weekend.
Okay. So on the bill this morning, we've got Verstappen wins in Sao Paulo for the 17th win for the F1 season, and then hard for Simon to stay on as WTA chief after finals debacle. Navratilova is the one talking here. And then we'll get Real Madrid drop points in draw with a stubborn Rayo, as there is also Arsenal manager Arteta furious over controversial Newcastle goal. Then there would be Juve squeeze past Fiorentina to keep pace with the leaders Inter. There is also Chelsea's Pochettino shares very good relationship with sports chair Levy. There is also Liverpool calm despite scoring struggle in draw with Luton, says Klopp. And then Pulisic backs Milan to turn around poor Champions League form.
All right, so those are all the stories. Let's start with what happened in Brazil this weekend.
From Brazil, we hear and we know now that the Red Bulls triple world champion Max Verstappen took a record-extending 17th win of the Formula One season in Brazil on Sunday after leading a red-flagged and a restarted Sao Paulo Grand Prix from pole position.
All right, so the race was crazy from the start. So formation lap, you know how it is. Formation lap is when they tell you to, in layman's terms, to go to the line before they tell you on your marks. They have not even started racing. No.
Yes.
Formation lap, Charles Leclerc crashed. I've not seen that kind of thing before. Nobody's chasing you. Nobody, nothing. He just drove by himself, drove off the track and crashed into the barrier. If it's not village people, who else can it be?
We should check the water he drank.
Let's start from there. So that means he was out. He couldn't even line up. So the space beside Max Verstappen done. So I just knew that there was not even going to be a competition. Normally there'll be a brief fight, but Red Bull will always come out top because they're the fastest car on the grid. But this one there was no competition.
Yeah.
First lap, 2 cars crashed. the tire of one came off and hit another car. They had to red flag the race to fix the barrier, to clear all the debris, to clear the cars. And then they came back out. And when they came back out, so Mercedes looked like they were hopeful. They're like, okay, Texas was great, Mexico was great, our pace is back, we'll be able to compete. But as everybody was driving forward, Mercedes was driving backwards. They said it was set up at all, and it was they were struggling with tire degradation. But I don't understand it. Even they couldn't understand where their pace went to. So horrible performance. Lewis Hamilton at the first lap, he started in fifth, I think, and then he jumped all the way to third in one move, only for his car not to be able to keep up pace. So he eventually finished in eighth.
Who was the man who said they would not help the team to pull
He did not help the team because Max Verstappen finished first, Lando Norris finished second.
Yes.
Not only did Lando Norris finish second, Sergio Perez was in third, was trying to struggle to finish third. Yes. That's how on the last lap Alonso now overtook him.
Oh no.
His life was just horrible. So ultimately, yeah, he was right. He was never going to help his teammates. I don't care if I've won 16 races in a row this season. I don't care if I've won the Drivers' Championship. Yeah. I don't care if we've even won the Constructors' Championship. I'm not helping you. Yeah. And he didn't. So ultimately, really tough one. But what happened eventually was that people now invaded the track when there was still cars on the track. Again, so the Brazil authorities are saying they're investigating it. The Grand Prix is saying they're very sorry that protocol was not there. And I understand that they have to be held accountable for lack of protocol and security in the right places. Here's what I want to ask the people that came onto why were you on the track? Why were you on a live track? To what end and purpose apart from taking pictures? Because you want to be able to take pictures with the car in your back. That's the only reason you're on a live track. Because what happens now if a car mistakenly clears you? They will not. Brazil Grand Prix now has to pay because you were silly. So people really have to. All the people that invaded the track, they should have just gathered them like that. Put them in one corner. When you miss your flight, even if you don't punish you, when you miss your flight back home, you will know that there are consequences for this, your poor action. Yeah. But yeah, the Brazil Grand Prix have to do better in security.
Okay. And that looks like a fine place to drift on now to tennis as we hear Martina Navratilova thinks Steve Simon is unlikely to survive as WTA chief after the calamitous tour finals. And thinks it's time to have another woman in charge of the elite professional
And I will say this, and before someone says, oh, this gender thing, it's just simple. Most in general, the women that have been in the situation tend to know what the issues are. Simon has been chief executive in the past 8 years, and it's been one terrible decision after the other. You took the WTA finals to Cancun in rainy season and was hoping that there'll be no rain. Are you a religious Nigerian? Because we are the only ones that can do that. You say in Jesus' name it will not rain. You went in rainy season.
Not my portion.
Not my portion. It's my enemies in rainy season. And so the rains have completely destroyed the schedule of the tournament. They're supposed to be playing the finals yesterday. Yesterday is when they were playing the semifinals between Sabalenka and Iga Swiatek. And they're going to now have to push till Monday, which means they're going to pay for extra logistics, extra time on the court, extra hotel bills. Can you see? And the WTA doesn't have all this money, which is, of course, the reason why Cancun came really late and we're having all these problems. Stadium that they completed just a day before. So he has shown a lack of not just competence, but a lack of conscience. Because, there's a way you're doing things. You'll be like, my name is at stake.
But could it really be a lack of competence or poor judgment?
It's a lack of competence. You've been here 8 years. At some point, you have to judge better. So he's not selling deals in time. He's not getting the marketing, the brands involved in time. And with all of these, problems that the equipment, when the wind blows, the equipment around the court will be flying off. That's liability. What if he flies off and hits somebody?
That's right.
They now sue you because I won't say just pay my hospital. I will sue you for more money. And then it becomes a problem. So he's done really poorly by the WTA standard. But the good news is that the tennis is amazing, even if the organization is really poor. Iga Swiatek Sabalenka yesterday was really, really tough. And I expected Iga to struggle because Ariana Sabalenka is very good with her serves. Iga is very poor on her serves, but she's one of the best returners on the court. And that's what showed up yesterday. And Sabalenka was so frustrated. 6-2, 6-2. That match ended. She won that. Jessica Pegula squared up against her doubles partner, Coco Gauff. 6-2, 6-1. That's how that one ended. It was quick, it was brisk, and Coco Gauff couldn't believe that she lost that scandalous thing to her partner. But so the final today is Jessica Pegula taking on Iga Swiatek. Iga Swiatek has more at stake in the sense that should she win the final, she goes back to being world number one. And that's what I want for Christmas.
Okay. Would we gain anything if we don't throw in the man who has drama to his game?
So let's talk about the Paris Masters. Oh, how could I forget? That was his 97th title. Yes. Novak Djokovic defeating Grigor Dimitrov. That was always going to be expected. Okay. His game is impenetrable. It's ugly, but it's impenetrable. Okay. Fantastic display of dominance. He beat Grigor Dimitrov till Grigor Dimitrov was literally crying.
Now you beat him, you go to console him again.
No, he was literally crying. It's okay. It's okay to it's easy for me to console you when I'm beating you. It's hard for me to console you if I lost. Okay. You always hear. I always tell people it's easy to be gracious when you're the winner. Graciousness comes easy like that.
Okay.
All right.
That's a takeaway. That's a quotable quote for the Monday morning.
All right. So before we go on break, let's take one quick message. Let's see what Josh,
will go there.
No, let's see what Josh has to say. Josh is
already.
Person. Josh, good morning. Josh says, small thing. Dear Omas, small thing.
A small thing.
We would have locked you out of locker room. Please don't forget. It's Princess Tega. Please tell him again.
No, said Josh.
Tell him again. Cruz says, Omas, better take Tega's advice. And then this message is from AY from Oniru. He says, yet another controversial VAR debacle in the Premier League this weekend. All I see here are patterns. And now I'm beginning to think that the English FA are involved in some schemes because 3 VAR dramas is becoming too much. I would say this. The Arsenal letter doesn't put the Premier League in, doesn't question the Premier League's integrity. Yeah. It is the refereeing that brings disrepute to the game. So we'll talk about that when we come back from this quick break. Until then, send your messages to
0809 444 0981. We are Smooth 98.1 FM.
Thank you. Open the place. Let's breathe. Oh yeah. Flag football. If you see all those girls, see how they were feeling.
How did they drag? No, I want to know. Like, so I was out of wanting why did you get there?
I was chilling in my house. That's how Moses Praise says, Tega, come and watch flag football.
Okay.
I said flag football in Lagos. That's how I took my 2 left leg and went there. And when I got there, I now assumed that I'll just see the players on the pitch. See the crowd. So they already have a crowd.
So how can people be experiencing good things secretly and they will just be calling themselves like cults? Just be
So that's why I'm going to be following the league. That's what I'm going to be following the league. Because if we're going to go to the Olympics in 2027, that's where we'll be getting our players from.
Yeah.
I had zero idea until Moses Praise took me there. Zero idea. I was like, okay, if they flag football, just people on the team. See crowd, see cheering, see flag football. I forgot to even mention. So if it's a girl that touches down, it's 8 points. Normal touchdown is 6 points. If it's a girl that touches down, 8 points. If it's a girl that made the pass to another girl to touch down, it's 10 points. And those girls, they are wily.
That's a gender-friendly game, man.
As a correct co-ed, though. So when you're trying to avoid people taking your flags.
Yes.
If you see the way they are weaving, I was just like, ha! I'm not that flexible. If I do like this, it's like that they will carry me on.
Now, guys, if you're on YouTube, see, is this what is called pot belly?
Hold the shirt.
I'm not sucking my stomach in. See it. See, is this pot belly? Think I want to spoil my racket in Lagos.
We have seen your belly. There is a pot somewhere there.
No!
There is 2 pots, in fact.
Okay.
All right, you two people, you've seen it.
Mm.
Ibrahim. He said, I play flag football and my team are the Outlaws. They must have played after I left. The Outlaws.
Okay. No, but it's not fair now. People can be going to enjoy things
As
and
in,
they'll just
fantastic.
go and see.
Ah, ah,
And you went there, you just, that's when you.
ah, ah. Ibrahim, we are coming for you. We are coming for you.
We're back now. All right, we're back. West Smooth 98.1 FM, 27 minutes before it is top of the hour, 9, the 6th day of November. Inside the locker room, Princess Tega still with me.
All right, so I missed the message on YouTube. Ibrahim Hassan says, Tega, I play flag football and my team is the defending champions, the Outlaws. You chose the wrong team.
Oh, yeah.
Outlaws. I chose the team I saw play now, and I like them. And you'd have told me earlier. All right. We still have messages coming in on WhatsApp.
WhatsApp.
But let's take those messages after we finish a couple of stories.
Okay, let's begin with this one from Real Madrid. Real Madrid coach Carlo Ancelotti said there was no drama despite his team failing to build on their classical triumph, dropping 2 points in La Liga's title race with a 0-0 derby draw against Real Vallecano on Sunday.
Yes, tough, really tough match. In fact, all the matches were tough for the big three this weekend. And I only actually thought Barcelona will have it toughest because they're playing against Real Sociedad, a very good team in the league. But they stole that one at the death, literally. Barcelona had been trying a couple of times. Real Sociedad could have scored a few goals, except for the fantastic, last minute defense once or twice, and then ultimately Ter Stegen just keeping them in that match. Then Araujo goes to the other end and scores a goal in the 90 something minutes. I'm just like, why is life like this? So that was supposed to be the toughest one, but Barcelona ended up coming out with the 3 points.
Yeah.
Now, Atletico Madrid, who I expected to win, playing against Las Palmas, lost. They also they considered 2 goals and then they scored their own 1 goal, and it looked like they were going to score a second and a third because they kept just throwing that ball in and around the 18-yard box. But Las Palmas defended it with their life. It was not a question of packing balls; it was a question of packing flying planes. So if the ball looks like it's going to coil around the wall, they just launch themselves to block it off. I've never seen that kind of Shaolin defense. That's exactly what it was. And then Real Madrid steps up against a team I thought not necessarily easy, but they could get the results against. And they put up one of the best performances they've put up this season. Unfortunately, on the day, everybody's shooting boots struggled, and the ones that looked like they were going to be goal bound, the goalkeeper saved. So tough one. If you wanted to rate on performances, it was a brilliant performance by Real Madrid. But at the end of the day, when all is said and done, results is what counts.
That's true.
For the teams, for the fans, we are entertained. But for the teams, they need all 3 points. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it. They dropped those points against Rayo, which means that sitting pretty at the top of the La Liga is shockingly Girona. I saw your face.
How did it happen?
That's like this house Leicester started and we were saying they're not going to win the league. But yeah, Girona, sitting pretty at the top of the table. And they came from behind in their own game to win that game by 4 goals to 2. So the La Liga is looking a little more interesting now.
To the other side, where Juve kept pace with Serie A leaders Inter Milan, thanks to Sunday's goal to nil win at Fiorentina in a match controversially played despite deadly floods, while Romelu Lukaku fired Roma to a late 2-1 win at Lecce.
And sometimes you have somehow you have forgotten Arteta. You see, this is why Arteta was ranting, because people are always forgetting him. But let's go to to the Italian Serie A first. Yeah, really tough one. They'd been flash floods. So if you're watching the Serie A, you saw that there was all that 1 minute silence before each match. It was for the victims of the flood, because the rains have been really heavy and there's been flash floods everywhere. So people thought some matches were going to be postponed. No, Italian Serie A was like, can we get on the pitch? Yes, so we can play. And everybody got on the pitch and played. Juve did not play the prettiest football. In fact, what Juve did was called, I like to call it rope-a-dope football. Remember how rope-a-dope match fight went, and he was leaning on the ropes, and then 1 minute he now came out and won it. That's exactly what Juve did. Survived, you know, counter after counter, attack after attack, and eventually scored a goal by Miretti. So great one for them on that hand. With Lecce and Roma, it was amazing. Romelu Lukaku missed the penalty. Lecce looked like they were going to win the match when they scored their goal. Then in the last minutes of the game, it's like Lukaku was like, hi, if I don't score now, I am finished. All the newspapers. And they're able to score 2 late goals to win that one. So what the result means is that Juve is now just 2 points away from Inter Milan. For AC Milan, the struggle still continues. And what makes it worse, they're going to play in the Champions League, and they're bottom of their group.
I see.
I don't know what else to say about that.
The way of a drowning man, because when you go close to him, they pull you down.
That's what they say. Or sometimes the man just drowns.
Okay. Can we meet Arteta now?
Yes, we have to.
Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta said he felt embarrassed and sick after Anthony Gordon's controversial goal in Newcastle's 2-0 victory over his side, as he gave his scathing assessment of the match officials and the Premier League's standards.
Yeah, so I was going to say this. I like the way he put it. I've been here 20 years, and this is just disgraceful and embarrassing. And it is, because every weekend, you say you're the best league in the world. And that may be in your marketing. That may even be in the salaries you pay the footballers. But when it comes to the football on the pitch, if every weekend people are talking more about the officiating than the matches themselves, then you're shooting yourself in the foot. And a lot of people can be angry. They've spoken to, I think they've had a private meeting with commentators, and sometimes you actually see a foul happen on the pitch, and then the commentator will be trying to explain it away why they did not give it. You can tell that they're trying to market the league as better. But the truth of the matter is that the build up to that Arsenal's goal, there were different decisions to be taken. Did the ball go out of play? You say you don't have camera angle to show that one. Okay, let's assume that you don't have camera angle to show that one. Then they now cross the ball. There was clearly a push on that one. You can't say they had camera angles. His 2 hands were on the back of the player. Was he caressing him? Is this a romantic relationship? Did your camera angle not catch that? Because it caught it where we were. And then there was the question of offside. And most people forget that offside requires 2 players. The reason why the goalkeeper is always involved in that is because there's a goalkeeper there. But usually it requires 2 players to play a role in getting a goal called onside. So you want to say that the ball came off. The only reason that goal should have stood without it being offside is that the ball came off Gabriel, who was being fouled. So why is the goal standing? They took their time, 4 minutes.
4 minutes. That's
4 whole minutes to look at all these angles. They read the rules written in English.
Oh, no.
In the English Premier League, they came up with that result. It is embarrassing that with all the technology available to you, with all the help you are getting, you're still making those kind of calls. And you can argue about whether they should take it or they should not take it, but it affects the teams. So now Arsenal, it's not a question. It's not unbeaten, just unbeaten gone. They've lost at least a point they could have gotten. Don't get me wrong. Arsenal played a poor game on the day. I would say it every day of the week and twice on Sunday. They couldn't break Newcastle down. And it was not necessarily a function of Newcastle being exceptionally great defensively. It was Arsenal players not even penetrating that box. And yes, you say they're missing Odegaard. He doesn't play his passes. But your coach, for some reason, that eludes my understanding, he chooses to play Jorginho and Kai Havertz. Jorginho is going to be safety first. He's not going to be looking for a penetrative pass. If you give Jorginho the ball, his only concern is that he doesn't lose it. So he's either going to pass it to the side or to the back. He's not going to wake up in the morning and decide, I can see space there. Let me just... No, he's not. That's not his first thought. He's not that kind of guy. And Kai Havertz doesn't add much. So you might say they did not play poorly on the day, but they did not play well on the day. They didn't impact the game.
So neither you nor
So
them.
yeah, and the wingers, Saka looks like he's running on empty because he disappeared halfway through the match. Gabriel Martinelli did not beat his man, not once in the match. Nobody was feeding Nketiah, who requires a lot more to score goals, and so he was not even getting any at all. So he was of no consequence. So it was tactically, you could say Arsenal did not deserve to win. However, they did not deserve to lose.
Okay, that looks like a fine place to go over now to see what Chelsea's manager Mauricio Pochettino has said. He remains on a good term with former boss and Tottenham Hotspur chair Daniel Levy.
Does that mean that he's going to lose the match because Daniel Levy is his good friend?
They've got a game today.
They've got a game today. Chelsea play against Tottenham in another fantastic London derby. Now, Tottenham, the only team with the unbeaten record left in the league. They've been flying so high under Andre Postecoglou. Fantastic team they have. Chelsea has been giving him missed baskets. Once in a while, they bring a result, but most in general, it comes up to nothing. And so these two teams square up against each other. Now, I would say this, when it comes to a derby, anything can happen. You know, people can have a different form and then they come into a derby and somehow they have wings to fly. But this Chelsea side against a Tottenham Hotspur side that seem to play fantastic, well-structured, well-organized, well-coached football, I struggle to see how Chelsea will come out with a good result from this one.
Can we throw Liverpool in this one? Despite scoring struggle in a draw with Luton.
Yeah, it was a struggle yesterday. In fact, I was so happy because I was a romantic. When Luton scored their goal, I was like, if you guys can just hold on, let us just have a great result this weekend. Then Luis Diaz scored. I was like, yeah, he deserves that goal. They kidnapped his parents. Yeah. He deserves that goal. But yeah, it was a struggle, and that's what the Premier League can give up. You know, a Luton side that have one of the most horrible starts to the season, getting something against a Liverpool side. That's the story can be told, and that's a story that, you know, Chelsea can take from and say, you know what, if Luton can get something against Liverpool, maybe we can get something against Tottenham today.
Time to go inside the locker room. Let's get the messages across now. I've got this one here. If you want peace and not problem, I've always said it that women should run women's sport and men should run men's sport. Let genders be separated and everyone stay on their lane. Simple.
End of discussion.
That's it. And Taya will come across with this message. Ateta in October said mistake is part of football when VAR was against Liverpool. But in November, he's doing press conference and his club best essay writing. But what changed? He shouldn't be angry. Let the incompetence go round. Howard Webb and co demoted their colleague only to outdo themselves with poor officiating.
Yeah, so when you demote the colleague, how does it give the points to the club? Anyway, let's take a look at
Emeka from Amo says, as well as regards Ateta, there is a popular Niger saying, it goes, if you say the truth, you die. If you don't say the truth, you die. So why don't you just say the truth and die? I can see a huge fine and a touchline ban coming for him. EPL referees are like mafia. More coaches will speak up as the season progresses.
It's even more painful now that the cost of cable TV has gone up, and I'll have to put up with this every weekend. Let me take this message from Olainka. She says, Princess Tega, which one is every day of the week and twice on Sunday? All for us now. So how about Saturday? Saturday is every day of the week. Mayowa Oshadari says, the pitch mogul, that's the pitch mogul, that's
Premier League manager.
Exactly. Likes the controversy and nothing will change. Let's go to YouTube here and take a few messages from YouTube. Ibukun says, Omas, it's Princess Tega from Abraka. Thank you. Thank you. And then Hamad Ali says, the rant by Arsenal is unnecessary. Same man, October, said mistakes are part of the game. But, in that October, he also did say, I support what Klopp is saying. Even if he did say mistakes are part of the... So people should not just quote one side of his statement, quote all. And on that note, we thank you for joining us in the locker room. Has not escaped banter only because of that controversy. But by Wednesday, hopefully, there'll be more banter in the locker room. Thank you for sending your messages on YouTube and on WhatsApp media platform. And thank you, Omatseye, for hosting the show. From me, it's goodbye to Wednesday.
Thank you, Tega. Even though you didn't hit on those who said they have been told that some club supporters are more serious than the club players.
It's true. me that you cannot be able to keep quiet. You cannot.